Hi everybody, my name is Leilani. If you are new around here, I speak on all things healing, transformation, and the mind-body-spirit connection. Today, I'm gonna get straight into it, and for people who actually do know me, met me in person, or maybe met me briefly, or just have been following me on social media for a while, this has been something that I've been wanting to share for a while, and today God was just like, girl, it's time. It's time. So if you've never met me, this is a stranger that you are seeing for the first time. I also encourage you to stick around because I like to say that we're more similar than you think. Even when we are complete strangers, we have more similarities than we might think sometimes. Anyways, let's get to it. So, I purposely came on here knowing that I don't really know exactly what to say, how to say it, why I'm saying it. It's more so of being obedient and honestly not really giving an F anymore. Not giving an F. I think it's really easy to have perceptions of people based on what you see on a screen. And you can also have a perception of somebody based on that part of them that you met for 5 minutes or even a season of life. But the reality is that we as individuals are allowed to grow and we're allowed to change. And me, in my own journey, I've experienced having to literally outgrow my own skin, outgrow my own interests, outgrow my own aspects of self over and over and over and over. Almost to the point where if you are someone who's literally met me a month ago, I am not the same person that I was a month ago. So unless you have made the sovereign decision to also grow and continue to grow, you do not know me. Like, that's just what it is. And with love, a lot of people do not know me personally, and that's okay because not everyone is meant to know you. But for people that maybe think that they know me, again with love, I've experienced a good amount of stuff in a short amount of time, and I'm honestly just tired. I would say I'm tired of people saying one thing and then doing another. I'm tired of people preaching and really not living what they preach. And also I'm tired of trying to, or feeling like I have to honestly be digestible because certain things are to an extent beyond comfort for a lot of people. And the truth is, I really feel like my audience, like the people that are listening to these videos, the people that even have the interest or the willingness to listen to anything that I have to say, is because you are somebody who has gone through shit and you had to go through it at a younger age. Honestly, you had to learn tough lessons at a younger age, and you had to grow up really fast. And to some people that can look like you have your shit together. To other people it could look like you're mature and you know what you're doing, and maybe there's you know, all these things that look really nice outside, but a lot of it really came from having to grow up fast, and not always being, you know, something that as a kid you glorify. Okay? And I did have a privilege in a way where I was able to not have to worry about if I was going to see food on the table, you know? And I know that some people have gone through that during their childhood and broke out of that. I didn't have to worry about that. And simultaneously, I didn't come from a family that was rich. I know that both my parents worked very hard to break their own patterns of poverty, or just the mindset of poverty, and even in that, still having to work through that and break that. And I think what I really had to navigate was a lot of emotional turbulence, and having to essentially be the person to lean on in times of you know, what do you want to call that, emotional upheaval, or just, for lack of a better word, like when you're going through shit, when you don't want to be in this world, and when you're dealing with either depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, the whole nine, because you yourself came from high stress situations, and not being able to honestly know how to regulate yourself. Like that wasn't even a consideration, you know? And this isn't to blame anything. This isn't for a sob story or nothing. It's just like, unless you've experienced what it's like to have to learn how to regulate yourself, and learn how to basically emotionally nurture yourself, and be that that figure for yourself, then you won't know what that's like. All right? And there could be many psychological terms for this, professional terms, whatever you want to call it, diagnosing other people, you know, there's a lot of things that can be going into this in the Western medical world. However, again, you don't know until you go through that, right? And it's not to say that one thing is worse than the other. It all sucks. Everyone goes through their own shit. No one's way of living is perfect, until you get to a point where you as an individual have a choice. You have a choice. Is like, do I want to keep repeating those same things? Do I want to keep living that same way? Is that what I want in my future family, in my future generations? So I also had to come to terms with really my anger and my frustration with the way there was certain dynamics in just in between family, and especially between men and women. And what I noticed from that was, it was what we see, you know, what we see on a daily basis, especially as young kids, subconsciously that can become our norm, right? We can absorb that, and we can assume that that's a natural thing. Like, some people will literally think that is the only thing because that is what you see, right? Like, you will not know something else until you experience it. And part of what I'm getting to is that a lot of things were normalized to me, and I didn't realize that I had to unlearn that as an adult. I had to unlearn and realize what was actually normal, right? And even though I was still navigating that, I was like, well, if I know what I don't want to experience, why would I ever put myself in a situation where I'm experiencing that again, right? But the thing that people don't really talk about is, like, sometimes your pain or your trauma or your wounds can be disguised or dressed up as love, can be disguised or dressed up as something that is good or just comforting because it's familiar, but it's actually something that actually ends up hurting you most. And so with that, when I got into relationship, when I thought I found true love, it was really the familiarity of our wounds. It was really the familiarity of our traumas, and it was really the comfort in those shared experiences. So it was a wounded love. It was a wounded love, and I can say, or I can speak on certain things that could have been unfair, could have been unjust, and speak from a place of victim, but I'm not a victim, because I played a role in allowing the relationship to take place. I played a role in not leaving earlier. I also played a role in my own woundings and my own bad habits being amplified because our wounds were literally like facing each other. And it really got to a point where this wasn't a joke anymore. This wasn't a joke. My life was really in question, and I knew that by me staying, I would have just continued a pattern that I already knew was present in my family, in my lineage, right? But the thing was I almost felt or was told this story that if I stayed, and I was actually told this too, if I left, that I wouldn't be able to do anything, or I wouldn't be able to make it. And the reason that I speak on this is because I did choose to leave, and I chose very intentionally to leave, because it could have been easier for me to stay. It could have been easier in multiple ways. It could logically, maybe mentally, financially, like everything would have been easier for me to stay in a relationship that I knew was not good. It wasn't good for either of us to be in that. And when another life is involved, that even brings more things into question. So me becoming a mother, me being responsible for life, it gave me that extra, I would say, just putting my head on my shoulders and in making those tough decisions. And also what really gave me the courage to leave that while I was pregnant was God. And again, every situation, like, you don't know until you know. You don't know until you've been through it. So like, it's one thing to hear somebody speak on something, it's another to experience it yourself. It's one thing to read something, it's another thing to experience it yourself. And frankly, I've just been led to express my frustration and honestly a bit of anger, because I hear so many people speak on stuff, but they haven't actually really experienced the depth of it. And this isn't to say that you need to, because I really don't wish anything on anybody, but it's like, especially when it comes to Christ, when you say that you dedicate your life to Christ, when you say that you are in obedience to that, when you really commit yourself and choose to transform, like, it's one thing to get the pretty cookie cutter stuff. It's another to really be living the stuff that you said you're gonna stand on. Okay? And after I committed myself, it almost seemed like things got worse. It almost seemed like, why would I do this? Why should I be doing this? Like, if literally, like, I'm making my life harder. And even then, of having to release the care or whatever of people's judgment, thinking that they know what it is like, or having opinions on my decisions or whatever, without knowing. Especially if you're a mom, moms will make the hardest decisions for their kids. And truthfully, like, it's never been about me. It's never been about me, but it really had to shift. Because prior to being a mom, prior to having Christ in my life, I was selfish. I was thinking about me a lot more. I was actually not thinking about others, because I was like, well, how is this benefiting me? And it's okay, a lot of us have been there, but I realized actually how much I was being selfish. I realized how much I was functioning from pride. I realized how pride can be one of the most silent killers, because it's not even a boastful outward pride. It's an inner pride that actually the only person that it's hurting is you. And it's the pride where you don't share where you struggled. You don't share where you felt insecure, where you felt weak, because you want to put this facade on. And the thing is, my friend, every single one of you, every single person watching this, honestly, as a human, you have felt moments of unworthiness. You have felt moments of defeat. You have felt moments where you can't look at yourself in the mirror, or you have felt moments where there's shame, or you just don't you don't want to admit to it. Because that's another thing. The hardest part is actually admitting where you were in the fault, or not even the fault, where you partook in your own suffering. And I think what really I needed to say is that I had to own the role that I played in my own suffering. I had to take accountability for the role that I played in my own suffering. And also knowing that there was injustice in a lot of situations that I was in. There was honestly just straight up bullshit. Bullshit that no woman, especially in pregnancy, should have to deal with. Like, and I honestly, it's like, I can speak on this, and I have so much love in my heart. I have so much love in my heart that, like, I truly forgive, and I can hold all these emotions at once because I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of my emotions. And I used to be, especially when I was younger, because I've always been able to feel really heavy. And being able to feel your emotions is one of the hardest things that you can do. It is a lot easier to numb yourself. It is a lot easier to shut them off. It is a lot easier to pretend something's not there. But again, in the long run, the only person that you're hurting is yourself. And I had to go through that to know that by me trying to stuff my emotions, by me trying to make it seem like everything was okay, like I'm good, because part of the reason was I wasn't able to express the gravity of my grief, wasn't able to express the gravity of my sadness or my anger, because I didn't feel like I had that. Rather, I stuffed it in. And when you stuff things in, that creates literal just ick. It's like ick in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, where you're just you block yourself from seeing God. You block yourself from the blessings that are already present within your life. You block yourself from seeing the light that lives within you and the light that surrounds you. And I know more people have gone through that than people care to admit. But I am here to say that you're not alone. And I'm also here to say that I'm tired. I'm just tired of people either putting on this front like, no big deal. And I'm also tired of the people preaching on stuff that they have not experienced. Because again, it's one thing to read something, it's another to live it. So I might not be, a fancy person in certain verbiage, especially when it comes to, a text like the Bible, but I don't need to tell you that some of that stuff has been my life. So some of that stuff has been my life. And it was never learned from me having to read something. So I think there's just been a bit of frustration on my end. Because I think it's really easy to judge somebody by how they look and how they present themselves. But you don't know. The truth is, we never know, because a lot of us aren't going to speak. A lot of people won't, but some will. And this doesn't mean that you have to. This just means that know that that you're not in this alone, and that if you do feel the need to share, if you do feel like it is time, do so. Yeah, like I'm not sure the gist of this. I just know that I allowed Holy Spirit to speak through me in the ways that need to be spoken. And that also, it doesn't have to sound perfect. It doesn't have to sound a certain way. And frankly, again, I don't care how this how this comes off, because I'm not trying to pretend to be anything other than how I'm feeling right now, while simultaneously knowing that it's actually okay to express emotion. It's actually okay to honor when something doesn't feel right. And yeah, my life from certain perspectives could have been like, that that's interesting. But you know what? God has always gotten me. God has proven to me time and time again that he's real. And me speaking, me sharing this with you is enough. It really is. But for others, God has blessed me in so many ways. So many ways that I didn't want to share before, but now I'm like, why not? Why not? Why not share how good God has been in my life? Why not share the miracles that God has blessed me with? And not because I'm lucky, but because I'm obedient. Because there are many things that I have willingly walked through. Okay? So I thank God for giving me the courage to really break a pattern that could have been repeated in being in a relationship that could have ended me. I thank God for giving me the courage to walk away during the most vulnerable state that I could ever be in, which is pregnancy. I thank God for providing me with a home. God gave me a home when I didn't have a job. God gave me a home when I didn't have a job. I thank God for providing me with a car. I had a really rundown, old, unsafe car while I was pregnant. I had to, I was stopped at the side of the road a few times, got stuck there while I was pregnant, a lot of uncertainties, probably weeks before I gave birth, the car got worse. It was irreparable at a certain point. It would have cost more to fix the car and to get a new car. Or either way, I didn't have the resources for that. But God gave me a new car. God gave me a new car when I needed it. When I needed it. God took care of everything for me. I was not prepared for my pregnancy. I had nothing together. Nothing. My baby came earlier than expected. It was an even bigger stressor. I had no insurance. My insurance, by a miracle, got squared away day of that I was at the hospital. I I was blessed with people that helped me move my house. I had to move my house for safety. I had to experience things that I didn't want to experience. Honestly, I didn't want to, but I'm like, okay, we're here. I thank God for giving me the courage. I thank God for giving me the strength. I thank God for, saving my life. Saving my life. I thank God for just every single person that helped me get through that. And even then, there was so much guilt and shame that was held on to that a lot of people didn't know. A lot of people didn't know what I was going through. And I was caught again in certain cycles and certain things and certain mindsets that just wanted to sneak up, and I say no more. Actually, I thank God that He has given me the courage to speak truth and to be myself and to really allow myself to die and be reborn. And there is no greater freedom than being yourself in this lifetime. There's no greater freedom than being able to really say something and mean it. And not because I'm trying to impress, not because I'm trying to, play a certain role, but simply because this is what I got right now. This is what God has put in my heart right now. And, I've come across a lot of characters in my life, which I have so much gratitude for. I have so much gratitude for meeting so many different personalities and different walks of life and just different types of people that I have so much gratitude for that. I have so much gratitude for experiencing differences. And I love to learn about a new perspective. I love to learn about people's life's experiences because everyone has a story. And what I have gotten from Christ is really just being able to fully love this experience, being in this human body for all that it is. Because the truth of the matter is that we're all going to experience some shit. We're all going to go through some shit. But it's like the moments and the times where I was just trying to escape somewhere else, where I was just trying to, do this thing or say this thing or it's always some type of recipe. It's always it always seems like there's always a fix for something, but there's no means to the end kind of thing. But with Christ, it's like he experienced what we experience to the most extreme extent possible, right? It's like we can't even equate that level of suffering. But there's mixed opinions on this, honestly. Like, some people don't even believe it. Some people don't believe it, and I can respect that. But it's like, if I choose to believe anything, I believe that Christ died for us. I believe that He genuinely loved us so much that He gave up, that God literally gave His one and only Son. And this isn't to put things on a hierarchy, to be, idolizing. Okay? It's not to idolize. It's to actually have a connection and a relationship, knowing that another human being, another person in the flesh experienced what I experienced. And to an extent so extreme still having love in his heart, still having love for the world, being able to forgive, being able to see the joy in life after all that stuff. That's why I follow Christ. That's why I follow Christ. Because anywhere else, I don't have that same amount of peace that I have now. Anywhere else, it's still, you're still searching something. You're still trying to grab something. And it's like, no, like, I'm cool. Honestly, I'm good. Like, this is the best gift I could have. The best gift of being able to just be. And truly forgive. I'm like, I feel lighter already. I feel lighter already. And life is just getting better. And I just need to tell y'all, like, if you actually watch this entire video, props to you, because you're gonna be blessed too. But I just need to say this because I need to say it. Like, it's just gonna get better from here. It's just going to get better. And when you got God on your side, when you know that it's not you that's doing it, it's not me. I don't take credit for anything that's going to happen. Okay? And I'm saying this right now. I am not taking credit for anything that's going to happen. I give all glory to God. I give all glory to God. And I am just grateful. I'm so grateful. And if you made it this far, good for you. Good for you that you made it this far. I love you guys. And yeah, we'll see what I talk about next. I don't know where we're going to go from here. But if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on Threads. I'm on Substack. And if you feel any, just being compelled or just resonate with any of this, and want to support this channel, I have my links, all my links, also my PayPal. And, I really want to share things that are going to resonate and help people out. Like, I'm not here to sugarcoat stuff. I'm not here to give you quick fixes or anything like that. I'm really here just to share truth, and if it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I know that growing this channel and having support in doing so will allow me to reach the people that it needs to. So again, I thank you in advance, and I will see y'all on the next episode.